Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Hoops Crew Media Network. My name is Ben Reeve, and I'm joined by three esteemed panelists this evening. Jake to my right. Hello, Jake.
Howdy.
And sitting directly underneath him is Mr. Paul James.
What's up, everyone?
And to his right, I think it's Sambo. How you going, Sambo?
Good. Glad to be here.
I don't know if this is actually flipped on the coverage, but anyway, welcome to the 104th edition of the Hoopies. It has been going very strong for many a year. We're about to crown our newest Hoopies medalist in 2024. Now, before we get started, Jake, can we just do a bit of a sponsor read-through? A big thank you to the network sponsor.
Absolutely, we can. Big Hoops Crew Media Network. Thank you to Cyril Cook Florist. They've jumped on board for the AFLW season. The AFL men's final season, sadly over for us and everyone else, and the 2025 men's season. You can visit their website, www.cyrilcookflorist.com.au. That's Cook with an E. You can phone them up, 035 222 2244, or if you want to make use of our Hoops Crew 20% off in-store discount, go on down to Shop 12, 11 Leather Street in Breakwater. Tell them the Hoops Crew sent you, and you'll get 20% off your next in-store purchase.
Massive thank you to Cyril Cook. All right, let's have a look at the favourites. And tonight, some of the favourites. So these names should be very familiar to most people who are watching tonight. We've got Jezza, Tom Stewart, Max Holmes, Tyson Stengel, and Ollie Dempsey. Boys, I'll start with Jake. Who do you think? Now, Jake, you don't know. You don't know the results. He's gone. He's back. I picture nicely. Who are you picking for tonight, Jake? Who's your thoughts going to take it out this evening?
I think Oscar Murdoch's going to be really hard to beat here. I think Max Holmes. I think across the course of the season, he's just going to have polled enough in enough weeks to take the win. I think other players have had really good highs, but yeah, consistently across the board, I'm gonna pick Maxie Holmes.
Sambo, what about yourself? Who are you putting all your money? Who's the house being mortgaged to this evening?
Mine was also Holmes. I think I don't necessarily remember him getting 3 a lot, but I just think he was thereabouts so consistently. So I'm probably thinking it's Maxi as well.
Now, Paul, I saw you coming out of a TAB sports bet earlier today. Who are you picking this evening to take it all out?
Sorry, I've got a problem. I'm with you. It's Max Holmes for me. He's been there or thereabouts all season, as Sambo was kind of saying. He's kind of maybe not necessarily always received the 3 votes, but he's always kind of been there somewhere within the 3-2-1 for most of the season. And I mean, he's been so important that as soon as his hamstring went on us in the prelim, things started to unravel. That's how good he was this season. So
the Jenga piece.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be a bit contrarian. I'm going to go Tom Stewart. Great start to the year. I think he'll come home pretty strong.
Well, call from the bloke who edited the video together.
Exactly. A little bit. I think we'll have quite patch in the middle of the year, but don't.
Bontempelli not in the mixer here.
The umpires hate him.
All right, let's get things happening this evening. That's very nice. All right, round 1. Oh, sorry, we should talk about how the voting procedure is going to work. So let me just explain this for those that haven't been following us on the socials all throughout the year. The 5 of us, Johnny's not here tonight with us, but with the 5 of us, 5 main key members of the Hoops Crew, cast our votes each week, 3-2-1s. We add them all up. The perfect score you can get is 15. I think a couple of players may have got the full 15 this year, but generally it was an even spread across a few players. So that's how it's going to work. We'll go through week round by round. We might talk about the game a little bit as we go through, and we've got some other awards along the way. A couple of little surprises if you're still watching part way through as well. So we'll save that a little bit for later. All right, here we go. Round 1. It was who played round? We played
Saints.
The Saints in round 1. All right, now the votes. Patrick Dangerfield, from memory, played a pretty good game. This one, I think we all gave him. Except one of us, I can't remember who didn't give him the 3 votes, but pretty much everyone gave him the 3 votes there. Ollie Dempsey Is this the game Ollie Dempsey got the Rising Star from memory?
It was. No. Yeah, sorry, it was. Yeah. The whole opening round thing just messed me up there for a moment. But yeah, he was round one.
Yeah. Of course, there's a round
we
before
were at
round
this
one.
game.
What are you talking about?
This was the opening of the Joel Selwood stand. You boys, well,
It
Paul
was.
wasn't at this one, but Jake and Sambo
times.
and John, I think we're there.
Yeah, I think we saw Joel Selwood slot the first goal in to the Selwood stand end. That was amongst the loudest cheers of the night. Outside of the Patrick Dangerfield winner towards the end of the game, it was a pretty special occasion.
Definitely was.
And then who could forget the iconic moment where the three of us were trying to find you, Ben, but we couldn't get reception or Wi-Fi at the venue to actually get in touch with you. And by the time we could finally get in touch, it was about an hour after the game, and you were almost home.
That's right. Well, you were all looking for the product from our original sponsor, Valhalla Brewing. I had a slab full of this GT lager in the back of the car.
We were trying to do a giveaway, weren't we?
We were trying to give it away, but unfortunately, I couldn't quite hang around. Now that probably is a good little thing I should have mentioned as part of the voting process as well. Every time a player gets their first vote for this evening, they play along at home if you want to, but we're all going to have a bit of a drink. Now, Paul, have you got a drink with you tonight? I can't remember.
I didn't have a chance to go to the shops, so I'm literally punching water.
You'll have to just use the
cocaine.
The cocaine. Just talk to our friend Colin; he'll sort you out. Yes, he's got the bags out the back. Don't
Embracing
worry
our newest recruits.
All right, so the big favourites, Max Holmes got some votes here, which is nice, and my favourite, Tom Stewart. Yes, I did do the votes, but Tom Stewart should be there as well. All right, round 2. I believe this may have been the Adelaide game. Is that correct? Someone want to prove that? We'll know in a second. Here we go.
It was the Adelaide game, yep.
And the Cats won this one just by a little bit, I think. Not too
19
much.
points.
But big old Tom Stewart with the maximum votes. I think the first time a player's got the full votes this year, everyone was doing the right thing. Cats went 2-0. Brian Myers bobbed up, played pretty well as well. Tommy Atkins, he's had a pretty good year. Do you think he's had I'll go with you, Sambo. Do you reckon his years has been as good as last year, or compared to his 22 year, which is probably his peak for me? How would you rate Tommy Atkins' year so far?
Probably somewhere on par with last year, I'd say. I think he's had to do less of the grunt work. I think he's had some other people helping him out here and there. Tanner Bruin and Bose when he's come in. So I think he's sort of had to put less of it on his back. But I think he'd be on par with last year, but probably slightly less noticeable.
And Paul, when you heard the news that Brandon Parfitt was being a late in, I think we dropped about 6 players couldn't play or something like that. I'm exaggerating, but Brandon Parfitt in. Did you have good feelings about that, or were you a little bit concerned because he actually went nuts that game and played pretty well?
Look, he's always been a player that if he came in, he was always kind of on the fringe. And while he was out of the team, I thought, okay, we've got a pretty strong 22-23 here. But if he ever came in, I was always kind of okay with it because he's always going to be a solid contributor. And so, yeah, he stepped up and had a great block of football for us beginning with this game.
Jake, any thoughts on this one? It was a gather round game. I think it was the gather round game, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. That was round 4. We played 2 weeks.
Dogs.
2 weeks out of 3 in Adelaide.
It's all very confusing, round 0, round 1, gather round, games against the Dogs in Adelaide. This was, I thought, a really good early sign that the Cats were onto a winner this season to go on the road. The late changes that we had, you'd be shocked to know I was absolutely distraught when I believe it was Mitch Duncan went out as a late out. I don't know how that stacks up with how I feel now at this end of the season. But yeah, great to go on the road and get a win over the Crows to move to 2-0. And this was the game where Jezza got on the field to do the holding the ball decision on the streaker, I believe. Yeah.
Yes, this was the streaker game, and the whole that's awesome. The highlight of the year, forget goal of the year, mark of the year. That was it.
And yet,
it may have been one of your
for it.
Of the week.
Remiss of us.
Could have been enough of the week. All right, let's keep it moving. Round 3 against this is the Scum. Surely this is the Scum game from memory. Yes, the Scum game. Put them to bed early. Tanner Bruin with the 9. Not a pretty even spread, these votes, guys. No one got maximum. No one got over 10 votes in this game. Toby Conway, that must have been Johnny's vote, because Johnny at the start of the year said Toby Conway was going to be all Australian. So John's probably trying to squeeze a vote in there for Toby Conway early.
It is. Yep, I'm looking at the votes now. That's exactly where it came from.
I'm sure he tried to do that. Nice to see my man Tom Stewart leading the way there. Some more votes, first-time votes, guys, for Mitch Duncan, Tyson Stengel, and Toby Conway. And Tanner Bruin, what a start to the year. Absolutely dominating. Where's Tanner on the leaderboard? Is he in the top 6 at the moment? Yes, he's coming 3rd at the moment on the leaderboard. He's doing very, very nicely. Any surprises there so far with the top 3? We'll have a look at the full leaderboard after round 6. But any surprises at this point? We've got Tommy Stewart, as I said, number 1. Patrick Dangerfield had a great game round 1, coming 2nd.
As Holmes hasn't pulled at all yet, has he?
I don't think he has.
Oh God,
Yeah,
looking
he
good.
was there within round 1.
Looking good.
Well, the
Ben gave him
blatant
1 vote in round 1.
disrespect.
Okay.
Sambo gave him 2.
Blatant disrespect
there's
of
a few votes
Bontempelli here. Hasn't even got a vote yet.
know.
Through 3 rounds. Pretty horrific.
All right. So
Rigged.
it's absolutely rigged so far. I've fiddled the votes. Ollie Dempsey's doing quite nicely there at the moment. All right, but let's have a think about. We've got some Mark of the Year as our first award, major award for this evening, and the nominees are Cam Guthrie. I will show some highlights in a second, but Cam Guthrie, Jeremy Cameron. Yes, I've got highlights. Jeremy Cameron, Ollie Henry, and Ollie Dempsey. Have we got any more Ollies coming our way in the off season, Paul? I know you're keeping up with the trades, but is there any other Ollies?
No.
Oliver,
Not
maybe. Clayton Oliver, possibly.
Yeah, that'll do. Clayton Oliver.
Oliver, he might be on the way. All right, let's have a look at the marks of the year.
Humphreys looked well equipped from halfback. Dempsey, nice little ride over the top for Geelong this season. Goals in all 13 games he's played. There's a look at the mark.
Big victory early for Michael Voss. Great to see Guthrie back. Cam Guthrie on the top. In for the side. Who do you think it's going to be? But Super Jezza. And done. Henry! Good.
Guys, before I announce who that you probably can see, but who would you have had as the mark of the year out of that bunch?
I mean, Ollie Dempsey could have won it 15 times over if he just stuck a few more of them.
Tom Stewart nearly took one as well.
I'd probably go. Probably the Cam Guthrie one. That's special. He was back in the side. It was pretty. I like the oomph, the oomph behind that one. That he didn't sort of float for much. It was a real, snatch and grab.
Yeah, I like that.
Did you have a favourite there, Jake?
Ollie Dempsey needs to get a bit more of that yellow glue stuff that they've all got rubbed on different parts of their jerseys and shorts. Bit more of that on the hands next year, I think. And he'll be fine. Yeah, a bit of grippo. I think I'd have to go with Cam Guthrie marks. I liked Cam Guthrie's, but it's hard. There was probably some good ones in the finals too. Do they count? Probably not.
No, well, if
maybe not the official AFL endorsed one. But
the winner of the Mark of the Year 2024 is Ollie Henry. It was probably the most classical mark. Ollie Dempsey was nice, and he landed like a cat and all that. And Jezza was personally my favourite. Jezza. Yes, and I do cast these as well, but I thought this is probably the most classical version of a mark. But yeah, Jezza's marked it in that. Was it the Adelaide game? I think it might have been.
Yep.
Where he pretty much saved the game and went back and kicked it too, which wasn't on the highlight reel, but that was pretty special as well. All right, on to round 4. Here we go. Who is this game against? I can't remember. So I need the list in front of me. Here it is, versus the Bulldogs. Another win.
gather round game.
Gather round. We're back to gather round, are we? Jezza.
Gather round.
Drinks for Jack Bowes, drinks for Reece Stanley. Cheers, boys. Well done. Well, Reece Stanley getting votes. Who gave Reece Stanley votes this game? I can't remember.
Probably me.
You reckon? I think that might be Reece's votes for the year, mate. Maybe.
Yeah, so hang on. I've got the culprits here.
Don't spoil it.
Johnny and Sambo, yeah. One
Yeah.
vote.
I knew it would be. I'm a chronic apologist for Stanley.
Jezza clearly had a day out this one. Jack Bowes, nice to see Jack Bowes get on the leaderboard. Where's our man Max Holmes? Where's Max Holmes? What's happening with Max? I'm not feeling very good about Max's
We've done ourselves a real disservice here.
But my boy Tom Stewart's hit the lead with 21 votes, doing very, very nicely there, closely followed by Jeremy Cameron and Sir Patrick Dangerfield. All right, round 5. We're flying. We're absolutely flying at the moment against North Melbourne. Surely we're not losing this game. Who is it again? Jezza again. Jezza does it again. Is that 15? Is that 2 weeks in a row we've got 15? You're kidding me. All right. Well, he's clearly dominating.
The week before you dudded him.
Did I dudded him? That's my bad.
We all gave him 3. You gave him 1.
Here comes Max home. Oh, is there a drink? There's a drink for Shannon Neal. Was this a Johnny vote? I'm sure this was a John vote.
Yes, 100% it was.
Yes, it was.
John vote. Cheers for Shannon Neal. Well, as we get further in, there's probably less of these one votes. But Jack Bowes, did I get his name wrong? I think I did. But that's if you're watching closely, you'll realise.
Oh, that's your worst habit, mate. I've seen you do that so many times.
That's his new sponsorship deal for Jack. I think we're just he's contractually obliged to have his name spelled that way.
I didn't do Brandon Parfit. I didn't do that one. And Parfit with 2 T's. So yes, Jack Bowes. I have done about 25 of these slides, so they do. I do probably miss a few, but it is not my day job. All right, so who we got in front? Jeremy Cameron leading the way by a streak. Tom Stewart close behind. Max Holmes nowhere to be seen, and Ollie Dempsey. Look at Ollie Dempsey sitting there nicely at the moment, doing very, very well. All right, round 6. Still undefeated, by the way. Round 6 versus Brisbane. Ken, did anyone actually think we were going to win this game at the Gabba?
This was a wet weather sloppy mess.
Sure was.
It was the only game all year I didn't get married. Yeah.
Was this the marriage weekend game?
This was the marriage weekend game. So we really sprinkled some fairy dust on this one.
Oh, we did get to watch it the second half, didn't we?
Yeah, second half. We gathered around the TV outdoors and cheered on a game where Jeremy Cameron and Tom Hawkins went goalless, and yet we won 63-37. It's pretty impressive.
And everyone pretty much written Brisbane off at that point, which was
what little they knew.
Yeah,
maybe a little too early to write them all off. All right, let's have a look at the leaderboard after round 6. And Jezza, with only 3 games that he's voted in, what I really like here from this graphic, guys, is Brandon Parfit. Look at that. He's voted in 5 of the 6 games so far after being a late in. He was making dinner on a Thursday night and had to put the tools down, jump on a plane and get over to Adelaide. But he's absolutely dominated, hasn't he? He's coming 3rd. Can Brandon Parfit go all the way, boys? I don't know if that's possible.
Gut says no.
Gut says no.
I think Baby Guthrie will be spooky to get into the top 6 by the end of it.
Yes, 100%. Likewise, Sean Manor, a late bolter for the top 6.
Oh, Manor, yes, that's possible. That's very possible as well. All right, the next award this evening, it's a different award, but it goes to the AFL Runner of the Year. So, what colour do they wear? Is it purple? Is it pink? I'm not exactly sure.
Depends on the game.
Depends on the game, I suppose. But it's a man that we love. He's a two-time premiership player, 2 nighttime premiership player as well. He's won premierships here, there, and everywhere. As a kid, as a post-retirement, his name is Shannon Burns. There he is. Now, Shannon couldn't be with us tonight, but he did send us a message accepting his award.
G'day, Hoops crew. Hard to put into words what it means to be Runner of the Year. Individual awards like this aren't the reason I choose to run. I will put that on the table. But it is very humbling to be recognised. Up against the likes of Dan Jackson at Adelaide, Brett Kirk at Sydney, Daniel Cross at the Kangaroos, just to name a few, and obviously Trav Cloak, who was involved in a melee earlier. I don't go down that path, but each their own. But there's obviously some great runners out there in the comp. So it's definitely not lost on me how big this is. And I can only hope that I can run well, give good messages, and occasionally sledge the opposition when appropriate to do this award the justice it deserves. So thanks again, and let's hope I can run just as well next year. Cheers.
What an absolute legend.
Yeah.
How good. How good. And clearly the best runner going around. And tell you what, I sit near the interchange bench and he runs past all the time, running messages out. And he's always got a smile for everyone. We'll often yell out to him, "Go, Shannon!" And he gives us a bit of a thumbs up and a wink. It's great. He's one of the nicest blokes going around. We're very lucky to have him at Geelong. All right, round 7. Off we go. Come on, Max Holmes, do something. All right, we still haven't lost a game yet. Here's the Carlton game. Jeremy Cameron's at it again. Can he be caught? I don't know. No one picked Jeremy Cameron to win the whole thing, but is it all drink for Cam Guthrie? Is that a John vote, Paul?
Oh,
Is it a
I'll
John?
have to check it. Round 7. It absolutely is.
We know.
We also know the thing that's gonna hamstring Jezza is that John starts docking him points. So he can go to the John Larkin School for kids that want to kick good.
Well, who didn't give him the 3 votes? Let's call it out, Paul. Who hasn't given him the 3 votes? You. Oh, what happened, Paul?
I gave him the 2. I gave the 3 to Grian.
You probably got the 10 coaches' votes too. You know, well, you do have a soft. You do have a soft spot for Grian Myers. There's Max Holmes. Max Holmes. He's got 12.
In there.
He's still not on the leaderboard though. Zach Guthrie. Look at Zach Guthrie go.
Slow and steady as Max Holmes' rise here.
Slow and steady. All right, round 8. This is where things start getting a little bit messy for the Cats. Things didn't go too well for a little while there after round 7. Against Melbourne, Bailey Fritsch.
Here we go.
Win the game. Here comes Max Holmes though. And Sam DeConning. Sam DeConning gets his first vote for the season, possibly his last. Maybe.
Also, that was thanks to myself in this case.
Wow, not a John vote that time. Tommy Atkins gets a vote there, and Zach Guthrie is still pushing. Where's Zach Guthrie in the leader? Is he there? Yes, he's coming equal second. Zach Guthrie.
Oh yeah.
Well, equal second, third depends how you order it. Max Holmes has climbed into equal second. Still 20 behind Jeremy Cameron, but I guess you're feeling a little bit better now after seeing him come back. All right, round 9. Things are getting a little bit. The wheels are starting to fall off at Clubland at the moment. Port Adelaide. Now I was at this game and I was not pleased. But one bloke stood up. That was Zach Guthrie. We didn't all give him the 3 votes, but most of us did. There's some first votes. Gary Rowan, Oisin Mullen with the Irish flag. There's 2 drinks if we see an Irish flag tonight. 2 drinks.
Jesus Christ.
Jake Kolajasny. Can we just confirm if that was a John vote? Did I get Kolajasny's name wrong? I think I did.
No, you gave the 1 vote to Collar.
Twas you, Ben.
Twas I.
I bet you I gave Oisin Mullen votes. Did I?
bet
You did. You
Can't remember.
both you and I.
And Gary Rowan. Did Gary Rowan get 3 votes from anyone, or was that a combination
Yep,
of?
you got it from Johnny.
Yeah, I was going to say I remember this conversation because I felt this is when I said I wanted to give Gary the 3, but I felt like I was biased. And then John went ahead and did it anyway. So he did it for me.
How's Zach Guthrie going though? He's pushing Jeremy Cameron after 9 rounds for a top spot on the leaderboard.
And I reckon he'll continue just to keep chipping away, Zach Guthrie.
All through the year. The way he's going to do it. All right, we're up to goal of the year now. Now, some nominees. I had a lot of goals I could have chose, but I've kept it to 3. I probably could have had a top 10 of goals, but I don't. I'm also a little bit worried about getting a copyright strike by showing all these highlights, so I've kept it pretty small. Now, I'll show the highlight reel in a moment, but the nominees for goal of the year are Grian Myers, Jeremy Cameron, and Lawson Humphreys. Let's play goal of the year.
Gets Gets the bounce, screws it back to Stengel, dangerous areas. Dempsey can do all sorts of things. Hands it over to the young man Humphries, snapping ball to the face. They've gone through. Lawson Humphries, what a time to kick your first AFL goal.
Goes down on his knees and Stanley spirals it inside the 50. Henry and Bergman in a wrestle. Henry gets a hand pass out to Cameron Hart on the boundary. He could not possibly. Who can do that? Amazing goal. Good time to assess. Sends it back to the pocket, to the pack. Up they go, Andrews, hands in front. Zorko's first touch of the quarters, no good. Myers from the boundary. A floating kick towards goal. Brian Myers from the top shelf of the entertainment department.
Goal, 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 goal. Yeah,
Smiles all around when we came back to that highlights realizing.
I was at 2 of those games.
Oh,
I saw the. Oh no, only one. Sorry, I thought the danger one, the Jezza one was the Port game down at Kidinia Park, but it wasn't. Was it? That's the prelim. No, but I did see Lawson Humphries' goal live.
Just so the AFL is aware, this is how you do goal of the year. You acknowledge the finals.
you acknowledge the finals. Yes, thank you, Paul. 2 of those goals came one in the qualifying final and one in the preliminary final. I don't think we had any.
Clearly, none of those were as good as that goal that Harley Reid kicked when he jogged through some witches' hats in Melbourne jerseys.
Exactly. And the goal of the year, I think it's pretty obvious. Well, it is to me. I don't know if it's obvious to everyone watching and everyone on the panel tonight, but for me, it's Jeremy Cameron.
Yeah.
It's got to be Jazza. The grind one was pretty good. I nearly had the grind soccer, the little soccer pass to Ollie Henry in there as well, but I couldn't.
Assist of the year.
Assist of the year, but we don't have an award for assist of the year. Maybe that's one for the 2025 Hoopies. We'll see. All right, round 10. It's getting serious, guys. Round 10 versus Gold Coast. This was a fantastic game of football from the Geelong Football Club. I've watched this one many a times on repeat. No, I haven't. But there was a gentleman, Lionel Messi, who had the full maximum votes, 15 votes in this game. No first vote getters this one, but Brian Myers did well. Tyson Stengel having a great year at this point, got the 8 votes. Max Holmes just doing a little bit there, Max, just bobbing up here, there, and everywhere to get a couple of votes. And who gave the 1 vote to Oisin Mullen? Was that Jake? Can we just confirm if that was Jake? And I don't have the actual.
Was it me?
logo.
It was me.
It was you. No Irish logo there. I've missed that one, but you can just imagine it, people watching online and panelists. But we've got Jeremy Cameron still holding a slender lead over Zach Guthrie. Stengel's pushing very hard here. Max Holmes is still on the leaderboard, but maybe not doing as well as others may have thought he would be. Tom Stewart not looking great at this point, but we'll continue on with round 11. All right, round 11 versus the GWS Giants. Surely we get our season back on track. No, Giants come to town. And for the 4th consecutive trip to the GMHBA, we lose to the Giants. But we did get the enjoyment of seeing a Zach Tui goal, which was always nice. And that's his first votes for the year, everyone. I'm pretty sure Zach Tui got a vote, kicked a goal in this game. I haven't got the highlight of that one, but congratulations, Zach Tui. Max Holmes, here he comes. Has he hit the front yet? Not quite. 43 votes, one vote behind Jezza. We like there. Tom Atkins. Who loves Tom Atkins? I'm going to say that was a me vote. Is that right, Paul?
Tom Atkins.
Or it was me.
Sammy.
Yeah.
I'd love to know. We should have worked out who's given the most votes to each player. Work out who your favourites are.
That's true.
Anyway, all right. So Jeremy Cameron led him by 1 vote over Max Holmes. Tyson Stengel not too far behind as well. All right, round 12, mid part of the season versus Richmond. Back on track, everyone. Back on track with a win. Ollie Dempsey can't drop the bloke. I keep thinking at some point in time the Cats are going to drop him back to the VFL. He can't keep this up, but best on ground, at least for the most of us he was anyway. Jack Bowes pretty close behind, and more votes for Tom Atkins. I reckon a few of us might have voted for Tom Atkins in this one. And Tanner Bruin started the season well, but has trailed off a little bit there. How many of us gave votes to Tom Atkins, Paul, just from memory?
Jake with the 1, Sammy with the 3, Johnny with the 3. I gave him 1, and Ben, you hated him.
I hated him. I do love
Tom Atkins trader. Yeah.
if Mrs. Hoops was doing the votes, she'd give him 3 every week, but not to be. All right, where's the leaderboard at the moment? Look, Max Holmes is very close. He's polled in many, many games. When Jezza plays well, he plays really well. He doesn't need many games to score highly. Max Holmes is just doing Max Holmes types of things. Tyson Stengel just doing enough. Zach Guthrie, nice little purple patch there between rounds 6 and 9 or 6 and 10 or something like that.
Nice.
And Grind Myers, a little bit all over the place. But there's Tom Atkins, little mid part of the year. He's getting votes here and there everywhere, unless you don't like him. Like, no, I love you, Tom, but I didn't give you votes for that game. So going well. All right, now, Paul, this is all you. This is you. So this is.
So you want me to lead?
Yeah, no, this is Nuff. We're Nuff of the Week time now, Paul. So do you want to go? Have you got the nominees for Nuff of the Week, Paul? Can you see those?
Yeah, I'm looking at them here. So the ones that you deem to be the nominees, and I can get around them. So it's been a season chock full of stupidity. There's always been something that I could sling at someone every week, and always been a community within the footballing fraternity that I could upset. So it's been a great year. Port Adelaide supporters, Hawthorn supporters, most recently. I'm looking at you. Harden up a touch. But the nominees that Ben has compiled for season 2024 include Melbourne's Medicos, Sam Mitchell, which is a personal favourite. Any sling at Hawthorn is a good one. Dusty's farewell announcement, and then Kane Corns. Now, I guess the context for all these is that it's obviously there's specific moments, so people remember. I think the Dusty's farewell, for example, about how the Richmond fans were sooking and whinging about how Tom Hawkins stole his moment, but it was the Richmond Football Club who didn't kind of enter the PR chat that all the other teams do, and so Geelong followed process. They didn't because they wanted to respect Dusty, and then they completely botched it as a result. Sam Mitchell's just a sook. Melbourne Medicos can't do their job properly, and Kane Corns, our winner. Look, it was a bit of a retroactive crack. He had a good old laugh at the Geelong Footy Club after we pushed super hard for some low-level picks in the Sava Radaglia trade, and then after Lawson Humphries burst into the team and dominated, which I guess we'll reflect on more when we get to the relevant game. He had a bit of egg on his face. It sucked in, Kane. Enjoy Channel 7.
He's apparently already been doing it 33 minutes into SEN this morning. He's been telling everyone that Geelong's going to be horrible to deal with during trade week. So
he did say that today. Yeah, he didn't say horrible. He
Thanks,
said
Sherlock.
Difficult. In the absence of Adrian Dodoro, we will be the most difficult to work with, apparently. And that's fine.
That's fine. Take it. Take it. All right. Let's move on to round 13. This one, now surely we're going to get our season back on track soon. Surely. Cats versus Sydney. Now, we're off to a great start in this game. Cats were, I think we kicked the first 6 goals of this game at the SCG. Surely we can't lose. Cats were on fire, and unfortunately not to be. But at least we got Tom Hawkins, got his first votes for the year. That's always nice. Cheers, Tom. Got his couple of votes. And we have a tie for the lead. Tyson Stengel has hit the front. Max Holmes and Tyson Stengel have hit the front. Where's Jezza? He's dropped down to 3rd. What's going on, Jezza? Zach Guthrie still hanging around. Grind Myers is thereabouts, and Tom Atkins is there as well. But nice to see Tommy Hawkins finally get some votes. I'm pretty sure those are my votes.
Yeah, they are your 2 votes, and I do want to pick your brain about it. Tom Hawkins kicked 1 goal too and barely got a sniff of the ball that day.
He was clean. He was doing just his one-touch possessions, Paul. It was all he needed to do. He was just glorious. Watch the tape again. I didn't give many votes. I wouldn't have given votes to any Geelong player after quarter time, but that first quarter, Tommy was on fire there. So you'll have to go back and watch that one, I reckon.
Can I just raise a point here? Like, I just think, as absolute bastion of integrity here in the top right or left corner, depending on where you're watching from, like, someone has to question the voting process here. No votes for Bontempelli, no votes for Patrick Cripps, no votes for Dacos. We're 13 rounds in, guys. Like, the Collingwood fans, the Carlton. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I've said my piece. Everyone knows that I stood up for those legends of the sport. We can
Clear
move
Geelong
forward.
bias happening. In these
Doesn't matter how many votes we actually give around, Jake. As long as Cripps gets it at the end, it's all fine.
He comes late. Comes really hard late. Somehow he finds a way. A good observation though, Jake. All right, round 15.
I'll just
surely-
also mention before you blow that one up is that those were Tom Hawkins' final votes as well
Oh,
as his
no.
final goal.
God,
well, someone had to look after him. Someone had
Yeah,
to look after
I'm
him.
glad you did.
All right, round 15. Who's this one against? Carlton. Now, we did beat Carlton earlier in the year, but unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be this time around. They absolutely spanked us at the SCG. At our home game at the MCG, Max Holmes doing very, very nicely. Has hit the front, boys. Max Holmes is finally in front in the Hoopies. Ollie Dempsey's doing pretty well. He's there and thereabouts. Jezza, he's starting to trail off a bit. Jezza, is he losing touch with Max Holmes at this point? And Brian Myers just can't. He's a bit like what's his name? And he's still what's the guy's name again? I forgot. Who came second in the Brownlow again? He got a lot of 1 votes. Dacos, yeah, sorry. Jeez, Dacos. Grind's just getting a lot of these 1 and 2 votes at the moment, unfortunately. He's had a pretty good year. He just hasn't had big games where he's apart from 1 or 2, he's hasn't really polled too well. But yeah, Max Holmes out front, dominating at the moment. All right, round 16 versus Essendon, which is we love beating up on Essendon, don't we? How many wins in a row is that against
love
Essendon now?
Not enough.
7,000.
Not
7,000 enough, Sam.
7,000
Yeah.
Ollie Dempsey. How good's Ollie Dempsey? Look at him. He's fourth, coming fourth at the moment. Gary Rowan, that might be his last votes for the year. I feel like it could be, Paul. Is that accurate?
I'm not going to try and scan through the remainder of the season.
Surprise for
50
yourself.
different sets of votes in the next
nice.
few seconds, but
I think
we'll go with that.
I think we have a drink. Jack Bose's name has been spelled correctly, so well done to me.
Oh,
And nice to see Patrick Dangerfield get back on the leaderboard. Tom Stewart, 23 votes. Come on, Tom. Jesus, we're well into this season. He's got no chance if he doesn't make a move soon. I feel like he will, though. I feel like he's about to make a move. Now, I don't think I've queued up a video for Tom Hawkins. I have, actually. I thought we'll do a little Tom Hawkins tribute because it's clearly we're all a bit sad still. And I know, Paul, you're hurting because you love Tommy. And every time I mention maybe Tommy's last year, you got upset with me. But I have put together a little video of Tommy's highlights for 2024.
Neat ball Hawkins from 48 metres out. Close to the man on the mark. It's as straight as you could possibly ask. Calling for Dangerfield. He just bores straight through to Dempsey. Dempsey a clean run. Got it out to Hawkins. Left foot snap. Hawkins has got 4. And they've got... And here comes Tom Hawkins. Currently the 14th all-time goal kicker. Game 350. Hawkins manicures it magnificently. What about that for Thomason? Centering, unselfish kick and very deliberate. And Tom Hawkins says, do not handball it to me. But he does, regardless.
They chain it out here by hand to Duncan. Normally kicks it beautifully. No exception. Maximum need here for the Cats. It is there.
Challenged in front by Angwin, but the Cats were well positioned to move forward and fast. Kneels out. Hawkins, there's a clear path to goal. And Hawkins will take the mark. Will he play on? No, he won't. He goes to ground, hoping to get 50. We could see at half-time what this means to Tom Hawkins. And that's the best way to change the results. The Cats are coming.
Always going to be gobbled up by the 5-time All-Australian. That is why he's so damaging. The kick to Conway. Brilliant short one from Bruin, and here's the Hawk. Can he edge a little closer directly in front? Have a look at that. Beautiful strike. Hawkins gets the first for the Cats.
Up until that moment, Pickett took a while to get to the bench. Close, the intercept, hands off, Hawkins. Got it!
Tries to squeeze the ball towards Hawkins in the pocket and strength. One hand and plucked it, did Tommy. Hawkins for his first of the afternoon, tight, 40 out, hits it. Oh, it's tight on the post. I reckon he's just snuck it home. He likes it. As does the goal umpire. Perfect start.
and that's why he got these 2 votes. No, he loves he does.
His final goal.
He does enjoy beating up on the Swannies in the sun. So, Tommy, I'll start with you, Paul. Have you got your tissues handy? Because you're very sad. I mean, we're all sad about Tom moving on, but he's got a future ahead of him in whatever he wants to do, whether it's on the farm or in the media. But how are you feeling?
Oh, look, I think my son has probably played a bit, had a bit to do with the emotionality and the thoughts around the whole thing, because he was distraught when I said that he was going to retire. He just exploded in tears and hated football for a few days. So I think that probably skewed my thoughts a little bit. But at the same time, I stand by my opinion that Tom Hawkins should have, if declared fit, should have maybe played in that prelim and just stretched the Lions that little bit more in their defensive end. But is what it is. Amazing career from Hawk though, and it's been a privilege to be able to sit back on the couch or in the stadium and watch it.
And Shannon Neal, if you are watching, Paul hates you. Clearly, that's evident from
I wanted all 3 of them to play.
The big 3. Jake and Sambo, any thoughts on Tom Hawkins?
It's still surreal for me, like especially because he was injured and hasn't played. Like, I guess I relate it to the Selwood retirement, which was just so picture perfect, and you just kind of sensed it with the grand final and the goal and timing and everything. It was like a storybook. It really was, and like it really got me in the feels, that one. And Tommy's as important to me as Selwood was, but just the sort of nature of it, the injury and this willy won't kind of scenario towards the end. I think it's gonna be like sometime next year that I really go, like halfway through the season when we still haven't seen him run out, that I'm finally gonna go, oh yeah, he's not doing it anymore. It just doesn't feel like it's the reality at the moment.
What about yourself, Jack?
I just mean, what a legend. Like, what an absolute legend of the club. I still kind of pretty vividly remember his first games back in, did he debut 2007 against Carlton?
Mm-hmm.
And like I always have this image in my head that like he was one type of player and became another, that he sort of, was problematic early in his career for some different reasons in terms of his goal kicking accuracy. And then I actually went back and watched, I think it was the 2009 qualifying final or prelim final. I believe we played Collingwood. And, this is only a few years into his career. He was like as sharing and generous with the footy as, back then as he was the day he retired. Like the selfless work he did. There's a moment, I'm sure it was to set Paul Chapman up for a goal. Could have taken possession himself, instead just sort of gets a little flick to Chapman to set Chappie up for a goal. Like, we talk a lot, I think, about Selwood and how he sort of not only set a tone, but maintained a tone for the whole time he was there. But Hawkey sometimes, there's not too many shadows, I guess, that Tom Hawkins lives in. Selwood at times is that shadow that sort of maybe sort of just conceals just how important Hawkins was to maintaining the class and the permanence of success at the Cats since he debuted. And I think it's going to be a big deal trying to move on from him next year. We've seen good signs, but it's one thing to do it for half a season. It's another thing to do it when preseason starts and you lose one of the big sort of standard drivers and sort of cultural bearers of the team. So it's going to be really interesting to see who steps up.
I think one thing that's important when it comes to even some of that cultural stuff, and I think that like you really kind of honed in on it with that kind of very selfless sharing sort of way that he played the game. You see it all, like since he joined the club, and I've watched Jeremy Cameron a lot when he was playing for the Giants, because how could you not? He was brilliant to watch. But he was very me in his time at the Giants, but he embraced that culture that was set by the club, but also just in terms of the way a forward line unit plays, he really adopted that very, very quickly from the Cats. And you see just the way he celebrates every single time someone succeeds. You saw in the clip that was shown there, the way he just dished it off to Hawk because Hawk needed it at the time. And I think Jeremy Cameron has learnt what's required from Tom Hawkins there, and is hopefully going to carry that on for this next generation that comes through. They are a very selfless bunch in there anyway, but I think Jeremy Cameron can be the one that leads that as now the ultimate, there's no dispute here. He's the number one spearhead. But I think even in terms of that cultural component for a forward line unit, I think he can continue to drive that going forward. And he learned that from Hawk.
I was going to say, look, support what Sambo said. Yeah, it was just the opposite of the Selwood farewell, wasn't it? Selwood was a fairy tale, an absolute fairy tale, off into the sunset, and Hawkins, it was a rainy day, thunderstorms, and it didn't end very well. But sadly, everyone's got to finish up at some point, and there'll be probably a couple more to come, possibly even during the off season in the next couple of weeks, maybe. But if not, towards the end of the year as well. And we haven't done a tribute for Zach Tui, but I think we all would probably agree we're going to miss Zach Tui. So hopefully he hangs around in Australia. We don't want to lose him because we would love to see him in the media or on K-Rock or on the Hoops crew, maybe. Zach, if you're watching.
Launcher Torp.
We've got a Launcher Torp. We've got a spot for you. We'll bump Paul out. You're quite welcome. Zach, come on the show. All right, round 17. Let's get on with the show. Round 17. And this one, here we go.
He's back.
He's back. Hawthorn. Look at Tom Stewart coming large. And the drink for Sean Manor. Drink for Sean Manor's first votes for the evening. Well done, Shawnee. Paul with his imaginary drink. He's doing, what have you got there, Paul?
It's water. Like I got nothing. And even that's all out now. So
table service. Terrible here.
Just play along, Paul. Good to see Jeremy Cameron. Now, has Jezza hit the front with that? No, not quite. Max Holmes still out by a fair bit there, but look at Jake Kolajasny. Did I get the name wrong again? Yes, I did. I think I got it wrong the second time.
Drink. Everyone drink.
Drink for
a typo.
If you spot a typo,
I'll just say
I'm running out of Guinness.
Max Holmes needs 2 votes in the next round. That's all I'm saying. He needs the 2 votes. Someone needs to make it happen. Yeah. I will say no more.
We got to look. We got to look at the classy moments.
Running out of time, Max Holmes. You better make a move. All right, round 18. This is the big one. What is it? What does he need? 2 votes.
Need 2.
Come on, Max.
2.
Oh, Ben ruined it.
Oh, God, so close.
Lawson Humphreys.
Would have been the
first vote for Lawson Humphreys. Are we running out of Guinness?
Ooh.
Yes.
Congratulations.
This was his nomination week too, wasn't it? Rising Star?
I believe it was. I believe this could have been.
I just love this game, the Collingwood game. I actually listened to most of this on the radio at work because I was stuck working a night shift. And just the fact that the beat up in the media the whole week leading up to it was how the Cats possibly going to contend with Collingwood around the ball. What are they going to do? Well, Tom Stewart goes into the middle. We rip off 3 goals early. We actually, I'm pretty sure, gave them a massive touch up around the clearances for most of the night. They did roar back, but I just remember we controlled it for most of the second half and just sort of put them away. And it was just so bloody satisfying to beat them again. It's very enjoyable. And particularly the Tom Stewart midfield bits. It was lovely.
Did we end their season at this point, or were they still alive? I feel like they were alive.
They were still technically alive, but I think in the eyes of many, that was kind of it.
Okay. All right. Holmes, Cameron, Stengel still in 3rd spot. Ollie Dempsey, look at him. Look at Ollie Dempsey. How many games has he played? Like 20 games or something like that? He's absolutely flying. And Brian Myers is up there as well, with just behind Tom Stewart. All right, here we go. It's getting to the business end now. Round 19. Let's go. Who are we playing this game? Versus the Western Bulldogs. Oh, this was a shocker. Some people were saying this is worse than the Gold Coast game. I don't know. I still have the Gold Coast game up there. My top 3 worst games of the year. But my boy Tom Stewart.
Well, after this game, they blew up Cardinia Park, didn't they? Like, not a suitable AFL venue. They just sort of picked it up and slid it into Corio Bay and said, no more of that. Thank you. Geelong, you can play up at
they're cattle down there now.
Yeah, absolutely.
We tore it up. wet conditions. I drink for the Irish person. Thank you.
Yep.
Well done. You're onto that.
Well done,
I'm
Sam.
on the Irish ones to go with the Guinness. Got to represent. That's my one job.
So yes, nice to see. Well, Mitch Duncan, he's got a couple of votes tonight, but I haven't seen Mitch Duncan pop up on here a lot. Paul, you did do a video about him today, which is blowing up.
Did do a video?
So thank you for that. A lot of questions out there at the moment. Paul, including the thoughts of fans on a recording around how he's going to go next year. Should he hang around? All that sort of stuff. Sam de Koning, another 2 votes. Is that probably it for Sam de Koning? Surely he gets injured at this point, and we don't see him again. I'm sure he gets injured at some stage here. Is that 1 vote for Max Holmes going to cost him, though, boys? Is 1 vote? Well, I don't know if that's going to. It might cost him towards the end. We'll have to wait and see. All right, let's have a look.
You only gave him the 1. You could have given him 3, you dog.
I'm not giving the 1. He's not trying to sabotage
him.
He's getting too far ahead. I'm trying to hold him back a little bit. All right, how are we going? Look at Tom. Here comes Tom Stewart. Told you, middle part of the year. Tom Stewart's flying. Max Holmes getting votes most weeks. Jezza. Typical Jezza's type season, really. Plays well and then disappears. Tom Stewart disappeared for about 10 weeks there at one point. Tyson Stengel's
tagged out.
Ollie Dempsey started off well, but starting to come good again now. Just when I thought he might have been back to the VFL, he said, no, I'm just going to have a couple of good games here. Be best on field 3 or 4 times. Any surprises here so far? Are we thinking Max Holmes will take it out at this point?
Yeah, still pretty confident. I'm still surprised Guthrie hasn't sort of floated into like the 6th or 5th spot, to be honest. I felt like he polled really well all year, but I suppose there's still time.
I'm actually starting to wobble on my Max Holmes pick. I'm starting to think I'm just thinking about how dominant Tommy Stewart was through the back end of the season, and
15 behind. Here he comes.
It's a pretty attainable margin. So
don't forget, Jezza kicked 9 goals and had a pretty good prelim. Sorry, not a prelim, qualifying
round 24.
Yeah, Jezza had a pretty good finish to the year as well. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, now we've got the next major award for this evening is our Fan of the Year award. Now, there's a few people I could have given this to. Jared Fox, Jared, if you're watching, hello. You've been a supporter of the channel and a supporter of the Patreon. I don't know for how many years now, Jake. Probably feels like about 3 years now, ever since we've had the Patreon up and going.
He was listening since day one almost,
Fox,
I think.
Yeah, back in 1985, I think was the first Foxy communique with the pod. So, yeah, he's been there since the ground floor. Helped lay the foundations.
I had to give a shout out. You've always got to give a shout out to Catman. Everyone just loves what Catman does week in, week out with the makeup, dressing all up. Hasn't come on the show. I have actually had some conversations with Troy West, who plays Catman. And I've tried to get him on, but I've sort of other things have come up, and I haven't quite got him on yet. But we may be able to get him on in the off season potentially. Bianca Vella, if you're familiar with Post Game Live, you'll know little Bianca. She comes on. She supports the club. She supports all 4 teams. She follows pretty much every game. The AFL women's, the VFL women's, and the VFL men. She's pretty much at every game. She absolutely loves it. Plays footy. Interviews the players. Wants to be a player herself when she's older. And one from the fans, really. Ethan from Americans Watching the Footy. He gets up at about 2 a.m, or whatever it is, to watch the games. He doesn't miss a game. He watches all 9 games of AFL footy every week. Absolutely loves the Cats. He's named his cat Grind Myers. So I had to give a shout out to Ethan, Americans Watching the Footy. Check out their podcast too, by the way. But the winner of Fan of the Year is little Bianca. And would you believe it? She sent through a little video for us.
Thank you to the Hoops Crew for choosing me to be the 2024 Fan of the Year. Hopefully it's been so much fun. Hopefully I can come many more times next year. Hopefully our AFLW team can win the flag this year. Go Cats!
Thank you. Well done, Bianca. You're an absolute star. Apologies for putting Post Game Live on so late. I know sometimes you can't quite make it and you're falling asleep on the way home from the footy or whatever, but we do love it when you come on. All right, round 20. Let's go. Who's this? Who are we playing here? I can't remember. Geelong versus North Melbourne now. I think Geelong may have won this one by a slim margin. Only 3 players got votes this one.
That's
Interesting.
that's
simple
some
exercise.
consensus.
Have we seen this? Look at Tom Stewart make a move, boys. I told you got to keep an eye on Tom Stewart. What's he on? 69. Very nice.
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 He made it. God damn it! He's going to win the whole thing.
He's coming.
The first milestone.
In polling votes almost every
It's like
week.
the first team that reaches 100 is the team that wins, and the first player to hit 69 is the one that wins.
Is it-
And whoever they're with.
In the polling, we've got the result.
Poor old Jez has dropped to fourth. Can you believe it? What's happened, Jez? The wheels have fallen off. Yeah.
Well, John
unfortunately-
diagnosed this during the season. Can't
Yeah.
kick, you know.
This is when he got sent to the John Larkin Academy and had to be rehabilitated back to his former glory.
How much should we win this game by? Not by that much.
40.
40, yeah. Probably could have won it by a bit more than that. Come on, Catters. What are you doing? All right, round 21. Here we go. Round 21. Cats versus Adelaide. Another win against Adelaide. Can they beat us at MHBA? I don't know. I don't think they ever can. We did say that against Port Adelaide, though, but they beat us. Here comes Jezza. Look at this. Jez is back. He's my man, Tom Stewart, ending his lead at the top. Can you catch him? Where's Max Holmes? Nowhere to be seen in the last month. What are you doing, Max? What is going
Probably did
on?
a hamstring.
Probably, yeah.
Ooh.
Sorry.
It's too soon. Too soon.
The wounds are raw.
Yeah.
Very raw.
I reckon this is about the time though when we talked about Holmes on the pod and we mentioned that he's probably having a really good year, but we're overlooking him because he's reached that level consistently now, so you don't notice as much when he reaches that level, and he needed to sort of push through, which I think he kind of did in the finals, to be honest. But yeah, I'm not surprised we've kind of overlooked him a few times.
Any surprises from you, Paul, with the leaderboard as it sits at the moment?
Look, I'm surprised Holmes wasn't more ahead earlier, and so yeah, I started to wobble a little bit before when it came to my pick, and no, I'll stick by Holmes, but geez, Tom Stewart looks like he should be taking it out.
I reckon Stengel's had a pretty good run too in the last few weeks of the year, so I reckon keep it. I think Dempsey might sort of just trail off a bit. I reckon it's probably down to those top four at this point in time. Brian had a couple of good games, but probably wasn't as good at the back end of the year. Round 22, Geelong versus Fremantle. How good was this win? Jake, talk to me about this win. This was fantastic. Cats a top four spot we secured here, didn't we, nearly?
Yeah, I mean, you said for Paul to get the tissues during the Tom Hawkins the tribute. I need him here after this win. This was an absolute ripper of a victory. Sean Manor. This was a big moment for Sean Manor truthers, because I thought he was playing pretty well, and then he comes out and absolute stones, absolutely just nails, 2 goals for the game. I think it was the one to win it was absolutely glorious. There's some nice interplay between himself and Brad Close. And I just love that he took that moment on, nailed the goal. Yes, probably could have made a better decision in the prelim. But I love that we got to see this from Sean Manor. I feel like he's built for the big stage, basically. And I feel like this was an early indication of it. As I said, some lessons to learn from the prelim, but he had lessons to learn early in the season when he got dropped back to the VFL, and boy, did he learn them. He was transformed when he came back, and this was a gutsy win. Another one like the Collingwood game where no one really gave us a chance going over to Freo, and we got the job done.
I feel like this is one where Tyson Stengel probably would have liked to get a few more votes. Tyson, if you're watching what happened, but no. Tyson, just the one vote. Paul, can you say who gave him the one there?
The Tyson Stengel one vote came from Johnny.
Well done, Johnny. Johnny's keeping him alive, keeping the dream alive.
One vote with John.
No
the
one
man
else.
that marched to his own drum.
So, all right. So Tom Stewart leading by 1 vote over Max Holmes. Jez is not far. There's only 6 between the top 3 at this point in time. I think Stengel is going to struggle. Not many games to go. I think round 23. 4 more games to go.
Certainly went missing in the prelim. So
I think Tyson Stengel might have left it too late. So it looks to me like it's a horse race between three. But let's look at round 23. Geelong versus St Kilda. This wasn't a great game. And a young fella. Oh, it's a drink for Jack Henry too. Jack Henry with the first votes for the year. Well done, Jack. Jack Henry. But Lawson Humphries. This was at GMHBA, if I'm correct. And is this the one where he kicked the goal in the last couple of minutes to put us in front or to extend a lead? Have I got that one right?
Who was that? Sorry.
Lawson Humphries. I feel like that was the moment where Lawson Humphries kicked that goal. No, it's not.
That goal to put us in front was against Adelaide.
That's right. I got the wrong game. It's a different game. So he must have. He just had. How many possessions did he get in this game? Probably. I feel like he would have had about 30 or something. He didn't quite get 30.
26. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
26. The big story. None of the big vote getters polled in this one. What's going on? Ollie Dempsey.
I mean, something had to go wrong to lose to St Kilda, right? So,
yeah, no one got votes. All right, last game. Who's going to get 20?
Rock
Who's going to
borders
get
to death?
Who's going to get the full votes in the last game of the year against West Coast? I wonder. Let's have a look. I wonder. Keza. Selwood, Joel Selwood. Well done.
Cripps in from there.
What?
Of course, Jeremy Cameron.
He's still not in the mix.
9 goals. Hit the front. Jez has hit the front. I thought Jezza was done, but he's hit the front. Paddy Dangerfield won't
just
go away.
when
Tom
you thought
Atkins
it was
again.
safe to go back in the water.
Is that Max Holmes? 6 votes. Is that going to help Max? He's only 4. He did have a good couple of finals, Max Holmes. I'm not sure about Tampa, but is Tom Stewart still a chance? I reckon Tom had a pretty good final too.
Yeah. I think those top 3 are all a red hot chance.
I think we can rule out. Now, can we rule out Tyson yet? With
Tyson's done.
Maximum 30 votes possible at this stage. I think we can.
Tyson's done.
All right, on to the qualifying final. Here we go. Against Port Adelaide. Here we go. Oh, this shorty matter again. Drink for this, man.
This sets it up very interestingly.
Holmesy's in front by 4. Nice. Jezza. What happened to Jezza? Who didn't give votes to Jezza? Oh no.
I reckon
surely
me or John didn't give him votes for sure.
Ben, you didn't give him any votes.
Oh, well, only one person
did. And that was me. I gave him the 1.
Oh no. Jezza, you.
Oh yeah. I was. Gosh.
Sorry,
Paul. I was reading that he got the 2. Yeah, the 1. God.
Well, is that going to cost him though? Because I think Max Holmes played a pretty good half in the prelim final. Is that going to be enough though? What's Tom Stewart? Can Tom Stewart win it from here? He's 14 behind. Is that right? Yes, if he gets
Tom Stewart, 14 behind. So he needs to be BOG to win it.
He needs 14 or above, and Max Holmes to get no votes in the last round of the year, last game of the year, I should say.
Pretty sure. I think that's going to happen.
I don't know if it's going to happen. Let anyone get their first votes for the year. Let's find out. Last game of the year. Here we go. Oh, Max Holmes.
Holmes certainly
drink for Ollie Henry.
Ollie Henry.
Tom Stewart didn't do too bad though. Max Holmes. Looks like we've all shown a bit of love for Max Holmes in half of football there.
The best half of football you've ever seen.
Absolutely fantastic. And Max Holmes is the 104th recipient of the Hoopies Medal in 2024.
Wow.
Congratulations. I'll bring up the full leaderboard. Here we go. Look at Max Holmes' run into the year. 4 out of the last 5 games. Tom Stewart had a nice run, but he did it in blocks, didn't he? He just wasn't had a couple of moments or patches during this
tagged into oblivion for about 10 weeks.
Yeah, unfortunately, but wasn't too far off it though. But yeah, it was equal for second. Okay, equal second. I did forget that when I put this together a while ago. Thank you, Colin, for putting these slides together. Yes, Jeremy Cameron second, Tom Stewart. That sounds about right to me. I think Max Holmes takes it out. I did know Tom Stewart, but I was just trying to entertain the fans watching. I didn't want to spoil the surprise, but yes, Tom Stewart.
I appreciate the theatre.
The theatre is very important when we do these things. So yes, that was nice. And let's just show, because we've got some highlights of Max Holmes. So should we play some highlights of Max Holmes this season? Yes, let's do it.
Absolutely.
Response. Dempsey. Holmes from 55. Good purchase on the kick.
Wow.
Yeah. Really good purchase on the kick.
To make a contest here, does against Holmes, but he's got the jets and the poise and the dexterity. Ho for home, and he got it there. Got it to O'Connor. He breaks through a couple. Jezza stalking 5. Look away to Holmes. Oh my goodness!
Holding the ball. Oh. Rush of blood from Akers. Cats signed him to a 4-year extension during the week. There's an example of why the power and the passion of
Wingspan got it back. Holmes weaves his way past them and launches. Got it.
The awkward bounce for Broad. Skimmed off his knuckles. Rowan to Hawkins. Well-weighted kick, multiple options. Tigers led by as much as 29 points. This to bring it back to 10. Perfect start to the third term for the Cats.
Hawkins against McLean. Stengel. Slight fumble, allowed Holmes. He knew how to work his way through. Oh, there's a couple in a row.
Logue runs through the stoppage then to get him on the other side. Yeah, the tickets.
Myers, perfect crumb and handball to Holmes, who finishes.
Max Holmes, Hoopies medalist. There you go. That's it. That's the Hoopies run and done for the 104th year. That was fun. It went a little bit quicker than what I wanted it to, but I was a little bit nervous.
Very unlike us.
Yes, very unlike us. I was very nervous about showing too many highlights. We'll wait and see what YouTube does to this video in the morning after it gets published. I'm not too sure. But guys, thanks for that. That was fun. What are your thoughts next year? Do you think Holmesy will go back to back? Do you think Holmesy will win the Kaji Greaves medal on Thursday night this week?
Yeah, I think he gets Kaji. And then next year we'll just have to wait and see what happens with his hamstring. Body holds up. Sky's the limit for that guy.
Yeah, I think yes,
definitely.
Yes to both as well. I think back to back and gets the Kaji.
I reckon 2025 Norm Smith medalist Max Holmes sounds like it's got a real nice. Yeah, premiership player Norm Smith medal. I reckon he's an absolute gun. Like, it's funny just listening back to that commentary where he kicks that goal and they're talking about the Cats signed him up to a 4-year extension. Remember all the smack talk during the early part of the season from Collingwood fans saying, he wants to come over and play for, a big Melbourne club. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. He never did. You absolute flogs. He was only ever going to stay down here in old Sleepy Hollow with all the premiership cups. So, yeah, no, I love that we signed him up. It's absolutely glorious. Absolutely glorious.
The one downside of the highlights reel was those first couple of goals are exactly the goal that I just wanted to see more all year. I harped on about it every other game. I think those just lay it just a little chip kick or a sideways and have a crack from a little bit further out. We don't have to kick it into the square every time. But yeah, it was a great highlights reel. But it did remind me they did that a little bit in the first couple of games, and then I feel like it just sort of evaporated that particular tactic for the rest of the season.
What we did miss from the highlight reel, we needed a highlight reel of Max Holmes taking bounces on the wing. Unfortunately, the AFL highlights package that they put out on YouTube every week, which I ripped off, doesn't actually include the many bounces along the wing, but that would have been quite nice as well. And that's what I'll remember him for this year. I think he'll actually win the Kaji as well. I think he'll, if the hamstring holds up, I think he'll be top 10 in the Brownlow next year. I think he should go pretty close.
All Australian next year.
Yeah, all Australian, true. And will he win Norm Smith? Yes, Jake. Clearly Norm Smith. The full 15 votes in the Norm Smith. I think they do the vote similar to what we do on the Hoopies. But let's hope the Cats find their way back. We could be getting Clayton Oliver, Bailey Smith. Who else are we getting? I don't know. There's a whole bunch of players we get in the draft period.
Why stop at just them at this point?
Why
just
stop? Do we want Dusty? Do we want? No, we don't. Don't want Dusty.
Too much trauma associated with that one.
Jack Stringer? No, I don't want Jack Stringer. Stuff him. I don't want him. But stuff them all. We just want the good players at Geelong. We don't want the dodgy ones. Guys, thanks for watching. Well, Paul, we've got a couple of videos of yours coming up pretty soon. Jake, you put out the. I'll come back to you in a sec, Paul. But Jake, you put out your AFLW preview/review. I think it was a bit of a combo video. Is that right? The
Hawks. Yeah, Hawks recap in what was a disappointing loss for the Cats, but one of the better games of AFLW you'll probably watch all season. And then, preview Cats do or die must-win clash against the Dockers happening tomorrow night. I know you're saying, no, Jake, you're sourced. AFLW footy on a Tuesday night. Go back to bed. No, I'm not. The AFL is sourced. They are putting games on a Tuesday night. So 7:15 Tuesday night. Go and support the Cats AFLW side. Like, they are building a winner. It might take another season, but they are getting there. Aisling Maloney, one of the best footy players, M or W, just like one of the best footy players you'll watch. So, go and watch. Would love for you to.
I think Paul might have been coming out of Sportsbet after laying a bit of money on Amy McDonald to win the best and fairest. No, Amy McDonald's going to miss for the
Where have I
next one.
developed this gambling problem from?
That's our question, Paul. That's our question.
That's my wife's question too.
Unfortunately, if you haven't heard the news, Amy McDonald's out for 3 to 5 weeks. Now, Paul, you've put out a video about Mitch Duncan. What else have you got coming up in the next couple of days for us?
I have. I'm off on a little holiday at Ocean Grove for a few days this week, so I've kind of front-loaded some of the content. Hopefully nothing big and important happens in the meantime. But yes, there's a video about Mitch Duncan, his kind of 2025 and beyond future there that I'd love to kind of hear people's thoughts about. Reece Stanley, I've put together a similar sort of thing. Both of those players, you see them being frequently discussed amongst the Geelong supporting community as to whether they should or shouldn't be on the list. They will be on the list. They are contracted for 2025. But beyond that, I guess is the question, and what role, what capacity do they take the field for the Cats in 2025? That's kind of what I wade through in both of those videos. And then we alluded to it before, Clayton Oliver, the talk has emerged in, I guess, probably the last few hours as of when we're recording this, that he might be on the way down the highway. And I kind of stew on how does that happen, the various different ways in which that Geelong could potentially get that over the line whilst not jeopardising the pitch for Bailey Smith as well.
Beautiful. I've spent the better part of last week editing together a whole bunch of highlight reels. A couple I've shown tonight, but I've got a few. I've got a season highlights package, which will probably run for about 45 minutes. And I've got a few top 10 videos, which I'll hopefully drop in the next few weeks. And I'm going to the Hoopies Medal on Thursday night this week, so I will try and do a vlog of my experiences on the night. Hopefully get to meet a few players, hopefully get to have a beer with Phoenix before he heads back to South Australia, unless he gets picked up by another club down in Victoria and stays down this way. But for any VFL players that are saying farewell, we thank you for everything. Clearly, Tommy and Zach Tui and all those, we thank them as well. But thanks to everyone who's watched tonight. Thanks to everyone in the live chat. How's the live chat been going tonight, Paul? Has it been active? It seems like there's a bit of activity going on there.
To be fair, I haven't been commenting too much. I've popped in every now and then, but yeah, the chat's been popping off. It's been great. Questions and comments about a whole range of different players there. Big celebration for Bianca, as is on screen right now. Thank you everyone for tuning in tonight and letting us know what you think and riffing on our horrific senses of humor. Sorry, top shelf humor.
Top shelf humor. Thank you, Sambo. Thank you, Jake. Thank you.
I'll just say too, put out a little poll just before in the chat, just asking who should be out for our musical entertainment at the Hoopies next year. They had the options of choosing Katy Perry, Russell Robertson, or Meatloaf. Overwhelming support for Meatloaf for the musical entertainment in 2025. So rock never dies. We will like a bat out of hell. It's going to be a hell of a Hoopies next year.
Oh, I hope so. We'll have to do a Hoopies version for the AFLW in about 6 or 7 weeks' time. We'll see how we go.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. As I said, we've got plenty more videos coming your way. Make sure you check out the Patreon and 7-day free trial memberships at the moment. Make sure you pop on down to Cyril Cook Florist. As Jake said off the top of the show, get your 20% discount if you mention the Hoops Crew in store. Make sure you do that. Pick up some flowers for someone. I'm sure you've used too many. What do you call them, Paul? When you've maybe watched a little bit too much footy during September and you might have
Your
upset
credits, your brownie points.
Your brownie points. You might just want to pop on down and grab some flowers and do the right thing. So get your 20% discount. Anyway, that's us done for the night, guys. Thank you again for watching. And as always, go Cats.
Go Cats.
See you guys.